Hi everybody, today we are going to be making a crochet square for our 100 for 100 challenge to make 100 crochet squares into a blanket. So we're going to need a few things. We are going to need a crochet hook. Mine is a size 5mm. We are going to need a pair of scissors. I have a pair of little nail scissors, but you can use any type. Need a ruler or a measuring tape, ideally that is in inches. You're going to need a needle of some form. This is a darning needle, so it's got a bigger eye and it's not sharp on the end, which just makes it a bit easier. And then up to you if you want to use them, but there are some stitch markers as well that we can use to mark our corners. We're going to need 3 different yarns. These are all double knit yarns, and they are acrylic yarns that make it easier to wash. So we've got a light pink, a white and a light blue. And to start with, we are going to need our light blue yarn. And the first thing we need to do is to make a magic ring. So to make a magic ring, you need to bring the blue yarn, So to make the magic ring, you need to take 2 fingers, bring the blue yarn over your fingers, cross it over so you make a cross. So it goes under, makes a cross over. And then I kind of hold it with my fingers there as well, just to hold it tight. Put your crochet hook underneath the first one, hook it over the second, bring it up, twist it so it's a loop on your hook, hook the next bit of yarn, and then pull it through what's on there. So then you should end up with a circle, a tail, which if you pull it will make your circle smaller. And I'll just pull it back so it's a good size to make our first stitches. And then what is on the back of your hook should be the rest of your yarn. So I am just going to twist this round so I can make sure that I definitely pick it up. So as we do our next stitches, we are going to want to make sure that we go over both the circle and the tail. This entire pattern is made up of treble crochets. So this is using UK terminology. So this is all treble crochets apart from the corners where we do double trebles. So to start off and to do a treble crochet, you take your yarn. I hold my yarn round my first finger and then underneath my hand. And then I sort of close my bottom fingers over the top of it. And that helps keep my tension. The first time you do this, it might be a little bit wonky. You can look at mine from when I first practiced, and my tension was a bit off. You can see it's a bit gappy. It goes a little bit wonky, but that is okay because once you block it out, which means you sort of square it out, you wet it. So once it's blocked out and once it's next to some other different squares, you won't even be able to notice. So to make our treble crochet, we hook it underneath, so we have 2 on our hook, go through into the middle of the circle, yarn over again, and bring it back through your circle. So you should have 3 on your hook at this point. So you yarn over, pull through 2 of the loops. I missed something. Okay, so once your magic ring is ready like this, to do our first stitch, to get it to the height we need for the rest of the stitches, we need to chain 3. So to chain 3, all you need to do is put your yarn over your hook, pull it back through the hoop that is on your hook, and do that 3 times. So 1, 2, and 3. So that is our chain 3 there. We then need to start doing our treble crochets. So that is, you need to yarn over first, then you go through into the circle, yarn over again, and pull it back out of the circle. And you should at this point have 3 hoops on your hook. So we then yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over again, and then go through the last 2. And so we are back to 1 on our hook. So the pattern is we need 4 of these to make one side of our square. So our chain 3 counts as 1, and then our first treble is our second. So then we do this again another 2 times. And going into the magic square is probably the most awkward bit because there's not really much to hold on to keep everything nice and tight. But like I said, again, that's okay because you won't even be able to tell by the end. So that is our 4, which is going to make up one side of our square. And then the next thing we need to do is make our corner stitch. So that is a double treble. Sorry. So to do a double treble, the only difference is we need to put the yarn over twice. So before we even put anything into the circle, we have got 3 on our hook. Back through the circle, pick up the yarn again. So now we are here and we have 4 on our hook. Yarn over through the first 2 loops, yarn over again through the second 2, and yarn over for a third time through the last. So that is our corner stitched right there. And if you want to use stitch markers, now would be the time to use one. So you would want to use it as you're going into this exact corner. So you know when you get to the next round, that is where your corner stitches start. Alright, and then for the next side, we need to do another 4 treble crochets, just like before. So we yarn over once, through the circle, through 2, through 2. Right, so you can see my tail of the circle is just getting a bit caught there, so I'm just going to undo this whole section. Just pull my yarn off, and then I'm going to put the tail to the back now so that I don't accidentally get it caught up a bit funny. So I'm going to yarn over. So now I can count, make sure I've got the right number. It obviously doesn't look like a square just yet, so do bear with. So we know that where our stitch marker, that is our corner. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 stitches. So we have got another side done. So again, we're going to do a double treble. So over the hook twice. So we have 3 on our hook, into the circle, yarn over, pull back through, then back through 2, yarn over through 2, and yarn over through 2 for the third time. And again, if you want to use stitch markers, this would be where we're going to put it in. And where we put them in is in these little sections where you can see there is sort of a loop, and if you look at it from the side, there's sort of a perfect hole. So you put it between those 2 and through both of those. Okay, so another 4 treble crochets through into the circle now. And that is our 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm just going to slide them along the circle so they're nice and tight together. And another double treble. So 4 on the hook, through 2, through 2, and through 2 for the third time. And again, we can pop another hook on there. So we have now got our 3 corners. You can start to see them coming together a little bit. So we've just got one more edge to do in the corner for this corner. So 4 more treble crochets. One, 2, 3, and 4, and then our last double treble for the center. So round twice through to the circle, yarn over, and then pull through 2, 2, and 2 again. And then to complete our circle, we need to do a slip stitch into our first chain 3. So you can see here we've got our chain 3, and then we've got our first treble crochet. What we're looking for is that circle where we've got the 2 pieces on the top and the 1 piece underneath, so it makes a little circle there. We want to put a hook through that circle, right through to the back, yarn over, and pull back through that circle. So we now have 2. You then keep this yarn on your hook and go straight through the stitch that was already on there. Now at this point, I want to pull it through a little bit more, so I've got a big hoop. I can take my crochet hook out and we can trim the yarn. So I'm just going to trim just behind the crochet stitch I was just on. And now I've got this tail here. So we've got 2 tails. We've got this one from the stitches we've just finished, and this one, which is our tail from our circle. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull this tail to make our circle get nice and small. And we can see that the square is coming together. So make sure it's pulled nice and tight, as you can see. And then I'm going to use my darning needle to go grab this one. So this is the stitches we've just finished. So currently it goes through here. So currently it goes around this stitch, so we're going to go back through into the middle of this stitch that we just went through, and then pull it so that the stitch beforehand will meet up with this one. Then on the back of our crochet, we're just going to run the yarn through some of the stitches down towards the middle, and then we're going to sort of put it randomly through the colours about 3 times. Just be careful not to go through to the front so you can't see that this is being hidden back here. And we go about 3 times and sort of try and catch it in itself so that it knots up and will not come loose. So that is pulled tight. Can't see anything on this side, so that can come off. I will trim this neatly to the back, and we'll do the same for our magic ring. So again, we pull this tight. If you don't do this now, you want to wait and put your threads in later, and the magic ring will probably keep coming loose as you work, but you can just pull it tight again without any problems at all. So pull that tight again. And then we've got our 2 little threads, which we'll put off to the side. Okay, so our next colour is going to be our white. So we're going to get that yarn ready, loosen it up a bit so I've got some. And this time, rather than making a magic ring to start off our stitches, we are going to be making a slip stitch. So one way to do the slip stitch is the same as before. When you're starting to do a magic ring, take your 2 fingers, go from the back up and round, go under the first one, over the second, twist so it stays on, and then pick it up again. And this time take that second stitch and pull it through. No, that was entirely incorrect. Right, think about it again. Huh? Yes, quickly.
Are you recording it in chunks or are you trying to do it?
I'm recording it in chunks, then I'm going to edit it. You good?
Yes.
I've got pins and needles in my leg. So to put the next colour yarn onto our hook, we need to make a slip stitch. So to do that, we cross over our thread to make a loop, and then the tail end pull through, and you want to pull it part of the way through so that you make a second loop. Hold on to both ends and pull the loop tight. And put our hook into that circle and then pull both ends so it's tight on our hook. And then where we want to start is the exact stitch we just went into. So we want to start Are you done? Yeah. Okay. So ideally we want to start where we started the last time, so we want to start on top of where that chain 3 was. So we know we've got our corner pieces here, and we've got our 4 stitches in the middle of that, so we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we want to start on this stitch, and the first of the 4. So we put our hook in, and the same as last time we need to chain 3 in order to get up to the beginning. But to get this first stitch on, you take, let's start that again. So ideally we want to start and connect this white yarn where we started with blue. So we need to go in on this stitch, and we want to put our hook through, yarn over and pull back through, and then we're going to pull that loop straight through our slip stitch. And then when you pull these tight, you won't be able to tell that there's anything knotting it on there. We then need to chain 3 again to get that height. So 1, 2 and 3, and that is our first chain, and that counts as our first stitch on this side. So we've got 4 to do. So back to the treble crochets again. We've got 1, and we put them in these little pairs up here. So we've got our 1, and sometimes it is really easy to put our hook through and only catch the front or the back loop. So just make sure you try and catch both. Two, and go to the next one after the pillar. 3, 4. So that is our 4 stitches on this edge. So we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4. And we know we've got our 4 as well because we've just hit our stitch marker. So in the hole where the stitch marker has been, we are now going to do 5 stitches all in this one hole. So we're going to do 2 treble crochets, then 1 double treble, and then another 2 trebles. And that is so that we have space for our corner to grow each time we do another layer. So I'm going to do the 2 trebles. So all into the same circle. Then we're going to do a double treble. So loop around twice, 3 on the hook, through your stitch, and then you'll pull it through 2 at a time, 3 times total. And then we're doing another 2 treble crochets. So now on this edge we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in our corner stitch we have got our 1, 2, our big corner stitch, and then another 2. So along this edge, next time we come round with the pink, we're going to be doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trebles before we hit our corner stitch. So just before your tall double treble, that is the stitch which our corner will go into next time. So we can put our stitch marker in. And then we can go again. And we are now at our next corner stitch marker. So I'm going to remove the marker. So we remove the marker, and then again we're doing 2 treble crochets. Then a double treble, so around twice, and then 2 more trebles all into the same space. And then I can come back here and put my stitch marker in. So we've got our 2 trebles, and then this is our double treble, so we'll put our stitch marker in to the loop just before and continue to our next corner. So in that one I just did a double stitch rather than a treble. I forgot to go over. If this happens, just take your hook out, pull your working thread, and you can put your hook back into your hoop and just try again. to our corners. So we are doing same again. Two trebles. A double treble. And then two more trebles. And then again. You can count back, so we've got the 1 and the 2 standard. This is our double, and we'll put it in the loop just before. And then our last side. So that is my 4. We've got the corner there, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So going into this next stitch is all of those corner stitches. So our double treble. All of our corners. So we then need to slip stitch this to join this whole section up. So again, if you pull that chain and that first treble, you can see the perfect area to put your hook. So through there, yarn over, pull back through, and straight through the one on your hook. So now looking at our crochet square, each side should now have the 4 center ones and 2 extra from each corner. So we should be doing 8 treble crochets before we hit our corner stitch. So you can count as you go along, or just keep a close eye and use your stitch markers. So we are now going to move on to our third and final colour. As you can tell, I didn't keep my yarn very well, so I'm now hunting for an end. And we're going to do that slip stitch again. So we make a loop, go through the loop and pull another one through. Put that on our hook and then pull both to tighten it on. And then we're going straight back to the same corner. So now we've got our extra stitches, and we want to go for the first stitch after our double treble crochet. So this is where our double treble is, and so we want to go to the very next stitch, which is this one here. So we're going to pull that through, yarn over, and pull that straight through. It can help here to hold the tail to kind of keep that firm, and then pull the tail just to make sure everything's tight. And then again, we need to chain 3 to get up to the correct height. And that counts as stitch 1 of our 8 across before we hit the corner. And then we're going to do the other 7 treble crochets. Okay, so I'm just going to count back and make sure I've got the amount of stitches I'm expecting. So I've got my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 there. So I'm now going into the corner, and the corners are exactly the same on this round and any other rounds if you wanted to make a bigger square. So it's again 2 treble crochets and then 1 double treble followed by another 2 treble crochets. Okay, and now this corner is finished. So I know when I complete this round, I am going to be roughly at 4 inches in size already. So I won't be doing another round on top of this. So I don't need to put my stitch marker back in because I'm not going to be doing anything into that stitch. So I'm now going to go ahead and do my next 8 before getting to the next corner. Okay, so we are now at our final corner. the same as all of the others, 2 treble crochets, 1 and 2, a double treble, and 2 more trebles. And then, just like the other rows, we are going to do a slip stitch into this top loop at the chain. So pull it through and then straight through the stitch you just made. Trim it off and tuck in your ends.